Don't look on my cold form in pity. Don't think of me as one dead. It'll just be the house I once lived in. My spirit by then will have fled. I'll have finished my time here allotted, but I won't be in darkness alone. I will have heard from heaven the summons to come on home, come on home. And when my body is in the grave, don't think that I'll be there. I won't be dead but living in the place Jesus went to prepare.
Songs came on the radio, and Marj, knowing what might happen, she asked Dad, she wants the song played at her funeral. So please listen to it, and it truly reflects her spirit, her heart, and her life. Thank you.
Heaven's pretty, and living here is too. But if they say there's no surprise that if you look and see that.
My wife and I, Bev, feel so honored to have been able to have known her, and we consider that a tremendous privilege. I've known Marj for 13 years. 13 years ago I came to candidate for the position as lead pastor here, and I preached on Sunday morning. And then I preached again on Sunday night. And after the Sunday evening service, Marj came to me and said, "Tonight I saw your heart, and tonight I was convinced that you were the man for the job in this church." I don't know what it was, but when she saw my heart, she knew that I was the man for the job here. The last 5 years, I watched her battle with cancer, and my appreciation for her grew tremendously during that 5 years. There were a few times where it seemed like the cancer was going to get the best of her, but overall she dealt with it in such a gracious way. And I think the thing about that impressed me so much is the fact that that her faith was demonstrated so tremendously toward the end of her life. I saw that faith grow in Lee as well, and I appreciate that, seeing how God has used even the suffering of Marj to bring Lee not only closer to his wife, but closer to God as well. And I know that she and Lee made the very best decision that could be made. Sometimes when you look back on things, you wonder if you made the right decision, but there's absolutely no second thoughts about that. Both of them knew that when Marj went into surgery, the risks were high, but they were at perfect peace about her having the surgery. Marj said to me, "Leroy, I can't continue to live like this, and I'd rather die on the table than to live like this any longer." So they knew it was a win-win situation. If she came through surgery and survived, it would mean they would have more time here on earth. But if she didn't, that would mean that she would be with the Lord. And either way, that would be a win. And that's what you call facing death with faith. Those who sleep in Jesus. We could change the word, those who sleep in Jesus, to Marj, who now is with Jesus. If we believe that Jesus died and rose again, God will bring with him. God is going to come back. The Lord is going to come back to this earth, and he is going to come back with those who have slept or who have gone to sleep in him, who've died. For this we say to you by the word of the Lord, that we who are alive, now that's about us, we who are alive and remain, we stay here until the coming of the Lord, will by no means precede those who are asleep or those who have already died. All those people who have died in Christ before us, we will not precede them in going up to heaven. We will follow them. The next verse says, for the Lord himself will descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of an archangel, and with the trumpet of God, and the dead in Christ will rise first. As the dead who are not in Christ, who will remain in the grave until later, we believe 1,000 years later before they're resurrected, because when the Lord comes, there will be a time of tribulation and then a reign of Christ where his love is, well, 7 years later they would resurrect, or 1,000-year reign, and then they're resurrected to go into eternity. What he's saying is that voice that cried for Lazarus to come forth will cry for all those who are in Christ who have died to come forth from the grave. And it will take no more power of God to raise everyone in that category than it did to raise Lazarus. And at that shout, all those who were dead in Christ will rise first. Then, there's the order established, then we who are alive and remain alive on the earth, shall be caught up together, up in the air, together with them in the clouds, to meet the Lord in the air. And thus we shall always be with the Lord.